Hello friends, welcome to the lecture of complicated percentage, the last lecture of section 2. Yeah, we have been waiting for this one, right? Because in this lecture we'll take care of the unfriendly kind of percentages, which are not that easy to calculate as of now. Now, before we proceed to this one, or rather proceed in this particular lecture, I'll just like to bring one fact into your notice that every calculation in these cases will have their own shortcut. Every calculation will have its own shortcut. That is 27% will have its own shortcut, 37 will have its own shortcut, and these percentages which are difficult to calculate without a calculator will have their own shortcut. But it's absolutely like nothing that we have to remember the shortcut for every calculation, every kind of percentage. With some practice, the shortcuts easily, you'll be able to see the shortcuts very easily in your mind within a fraction of a second. Will be very, very fast. So don't you worry about that. And there is no rocket science involved over here. Absolute plain common sense in numbers. That's it. So let's take the first example of 24% of 260. Let's see. Now, what will come into your mind if you see 24%? What breakup, what split is going to come into your mind? Yeah, obviously, the most of the people will think it as 20 and 4%. See, as far as 20% is concerned, it's fine with this method. In this method, if I have to calculate 20 plus 4, 20% is fine. Because 10%, double of it is going to give me 20%. But the troublesome part is this 4%. This will not be that easy to calculate because you have to do 2.6 into 4, which for some people would be easy to calculate, but if there is an easier method present, what is the harm in executing that? So let's hold this one right now. Let's try to find out any other way of doing 24% or calculating 24% easily. Now, if I take 24% as 20, 5 and 1%, obviously I'm not going to add all of them because the summation will take it to 26. So what I'll do is, I'll add 20 and 5 and subtract 1 from it. That is 25 minus so on in a way. So I think this is a better method because 20% need not be calculated because it can be seen very easily in your mind as 52. Same is the case with 5% and same is the case with 1. None of these three needs calculation. That's it. That's the trick. Now 20% will be 52 as we have already discussed. 5% will be half of 10% over here, which is 13, and 1% is easily observable as 2.6. I'll add 52 and 13 to obtain the answer as 65, which is 25%, and subtract 2.6 from it. And I'll get my answer as, 62.4%. So this is a good method, isn't it? Because I don't have to calculate 20, 5 and 1. All of them are very, very easy to get calculated because we don't have to actually find out 20% or multiply big numbers over here. So this is a good method, but the best method that caught my eye over the years for 24% is this. I split it up into two parts as 25% and 1%, and I'll subtract the 1% from 25%. Why am I taking 25% separately over here? The reason is very simple. As 50% is half, 25% is nothing but 1/4. So 25% is nothing but 1/4. So if I had to calculate 25% of 260, I had to just do a 1/4 of this number. I'll get 65 if I'm not wrong. Yep. If I get 65 as 25% straight away. Now finding 1% and subtracting it from 65 won't be a tough task. So I'll do 65 minus 2.6 as 62.4%. Now, isn't that easy? Now, this is the best method I can think of for 24%. Now, let's take another example. Another example of 26% of 330. Now, how will I calculate 26% over here? If you've guessed that we'll do 25 and 1%, then you're absolutely on the right track. Great. Congratulations. Because 25% can be easily obtained as 1/4 of 330 and 1% is observable as 3.3. So it's good that if you have actually got this particular breakup in your mind. If you have not, then it'll require some practice from your side. That's it, nothing else. It's just a matter of time that these methods starts coming to your mind. Now, 25%, which is 1/4 of 330, will be 82.5, because if I have to just divide this number by 4. Halving this number will be 165, and again dividing 165 by 2 is going to give me 82.5. 1% number is very easily observable as 3.3. Adding these two, 82.5 and 3.3, I'm going to get my 26% as 85.8%. So that is it. Isn't that cool? Now, 26% has its own shortcut, 24% has its own shortcut. There's always a shortcut. Let's take the entire line of 20s. That is from 21 to 29, and see what shortcuts we can apply to each and every individual percentage. That is, if I had to calculate 21%, the shortcut is very simple, isn't it? 20 plus 1%, both of them are easily calculatable. Now, 22%, a twin percentage, I had to do 20 plus 2%. That's it. 23%, however, will have a different approach than 20 plus 3, because see, 25% is easy to obtain because it will be 1/4 of whichever number you are calculating 23% of. Subtracting 2% from it is going to give me 23%. Now, 24% has been discussed, 26 has been discussed, and 25% is just 1/4 of the number. So we'll skip these three and straight away move on to 27%. Now, 27%, a lot of people might have thought that this is 20 plus 5 plus 2, but again, there is an easier method present over here. We can kind of use the reverse twin percentages method. That is, 30 plus 3 would have been 33%, which is a twin percentage. But if I subtract 3% from 30%, I'll get 27%, isn't it? And this 3% need not to be calculated because I have already calculated 30%. 1/10 of it is going to straight away give me 3%, right? So similarly, I can get maybe 36% very easily, because 36% is nothing but 40% minus 4%. So once I calculate 40%, in order to calculate the 4% part, I just had to do 1/10 of 40% and then subtract the smaller number from the bigger one. So every percentage will have its own shortcut. You will be able to see it with a matter of time. 28% is 30% minus 2%, isn't it? Because 30% is very easy to calculate, just triple the 10%, and 2% is just double the 1%. So it will not be that tough either. And similarly, 29%, you would have guessed it right, that it will be 30% minus 1%. See, use addition or subtraction, whichever is easier. Just use whichever is easier. There is no rule as but use addition only or subtraction only. Whichever is easier, whichever is giving you an easier method to calculate the percentage, you should go with that method. So let's move on and take a different kind of percentage, which is 42% of 5100. Now, 42%, I would have done it like you would have done it, as 40% and 2%. But there is a very interesting fact over here, that this 2%, of course I add them up. This 2% over here is nothing but half of the twin part of 40%. That is half of 4%, which is 1/10 of 40%. See, had it been 44%, what would we have done? We would have done 40% plus 4%. 40%, 1/10 of it is going to give me 4%. But this time this is 42%, but the only difference is 2% over here instead of 4%. But the advantage with me is 2% is just half of 4%. So what I'll do is I'll calculate, in this case, I'll calculate 40%, 1/10 of which is going to give me 4%, half of which is going to give me 2%. So I really need not to calculate 2% properly over here. Otherwise, if not getting this method, do not worry, because 2% is anyways easily observable as 51, double of 51, that is 102. Now, 40% of the number 5100 will be 4 times 10%, that is 510. If I multiply 510 to 4. If I double 5 and 10, I'll have 1020. If I double 1020, I'll have 2040 as my 40%. In order to see 2%, it'll be just like 4% is 204. 2% will be half of 204, which is 102. And I'll add them up to get to my answer as 214. Isn't that cool? So let's take another one. Let's take a bigger number this time. 67% of 440. Yeah. Now, what should I do with this 67%? How should I split it? Maybe 50 plus 10 plus 7, or 50 plus 10 plus 5 plus 2. 50 plus 10 plus 5 plus 2 is good. It's easy because neither 50 nor 10 needs to be calculated. Similarly, 5 can also be calculated very easily, and 2% can also be calculated very easily. So 50 plus 10 plus 5 plus 2 would be good breakup over here. But the split that caught my eye was if I do 50% plus 10% and do 6% plus 1%. That is, why is it 6% over here? Because see, the thing that I'm able to observe over here is that 67% is just 1 greater than a twin percentage, 66%. And we've seen that calculating 66% was very easy when we were doing lectures on twin percentage. So what my aim now reduces to calculating that twin percentage, 66%, and just adding 1% to it to get to my 67%. Now, in order to calculate 66%, what I've done is I've found 50%, 10%, not that tough to find out. 50% will be 220, 10% will be 44. I add them up to get 264 as my 60%. 1/10 of it is going to give me 6% as 26.4. Now what I'll do is I'll simply add another 1%, that is 4.4, to it to obtain the answer very, very easily. I need to sum it up, of course. But if I just add these two, I'll have approximation. In approximation, this will come out to be equal to 31. Although precisely this is 30.8. But approximately I can gauge over here, this will come out to be 26.4 plus 4.4 will come out to be around 31. So if I add 31 to 220 plus 44, that is 265, I'll obtain my approximate answer as 295. Isn't that easy? So there it is, guys, because we'll have a lot of different kind of percentages. Every percentage can't be taught. So let's say if you come across 62%, you have to apply your own brain. Maybe 50 plus 10 plus 2 would do in that case. If I come across 77%, it is a twin percentage. If I come across 78%, maybe 80 minus 2 is a better approach, or 70 plus 7 is a 70 plus 7 plus 1% is a good approach. So it's your decision really which particular approach to take. After some practice, you'll become comfortable for this. If you need practice in a single topic in this entire course, this is that topic. After some practice, this will also become a matter of seconds. Now for now, let's take some real-time examples. How would this look in a pen and a paper? Let's see.